Ladies and gentlemen, Two Dudes Talk Music in conjunction with E. Brown Industries and Big Jerry Burger brings to you everybody's new favourite game show, Get in the Bin. Now, let's go to our host, Reverend Raph and the beer buddy, Kyle. Welcome back to the Two Dudes Talk Music YouTube channel, everybody. I am the Reverend Raph, joined once again by my good friend, Kyle, aka the beer buddy. He's over there, and our new friends in Loose Surface. We've been hanging around with these guys, chatting all week, and it's been great fun. So what we are doing today, it is everyone's favorite game show. It is called Get in the Bin. So the whole point here is if you had phenomenal cosmic powers and could just snap your fingers to eliminate things from or change things about the music business, what would they be and why? Look, because we've got a whole bunch of you guys today, we'll just grab one from each of you. Whoever wants to go first, just to start us off, what would you eliminate from the music business and why?
Hot take, streaming services.
I don't think that's a hot take. I think everyone...
Not on this podcast. Not on this podcast.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's... Oh, shit. It's the same as every industry, really, like film. It's like the streaming services. It's really ruined.
Revenue.
Yeah, well, yeah, the revenue for bands. And, you know, it is a bit of a double-edged sword. Music, it's a lot more accessible now, but it's also, it's a lot easier for people to get, like, stuck in, like, they'll make a playlist on Spotify and then that's their playlist. That's all they'll listen to.
And it also, see, it's, again, Kyle mentioned, like, we talk about this not so much on the podcast that it's, like, ridiculous. The thing for me is always that it's devalues music in the mind of the consumer. It's, you know, when you've had, instead of having to, you know, instead of a song, you know, a CD of 10 or 12 songs being like $15, $20, it's, you know, it's that much for a month to get access to all of the music in existence, which means that like, per song, a song is worth nothing when that's the value exchange. And so it just makes it cheap. In people's minds, they're not paying for music. And so it just becomes this thing of music is free. It's girl math, you know what I mean? Like music is free because it's like...
Yeah, it's like it's ruined that whole thing of like the kid saves up his $20 to go buy the new album he's been looking at for the last 6 months or whatever. Just completely devalues it.
Definitely.
And it, and it just oh God, don't.
Yeah, don't get. If we keep going on this, it'll be like half an hour just on ranting on this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely a very red hot take on this podcast.
So who's next?
Who wants to go next?
Oh, hear me?
Yeah. So there we go.
Oh, did we freeze a bit?
Yeah, you froze a little bit, I think.
Okay, cool. Dynamic ticket pricing.
Yep, that can fuck right off.
Yep.
Yeah.
That can fuck right the fuck off. I got no time for that shit.
And if you need an explanation, you're not involved enough. Fuck me dead. Like, wait till your cheeseburgers are dynamically priced, and then you'll come.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, and unfortunately, this is the result of a company having a monopoly on the ticketing, and you know, not just the ticketing, but owning so many venues, and owning all these merch companies and these touring companies, and they just own so much of the chain from top to bottom that like, if you don't use their shit, you're fucked. Like, if you don't want to use their ticket selling things, you can't play in their venues. You don't want to play in their venues, well, that really limits your options when you go to whatever town you're going to. It's like, it makes it really, really hard to do business in the music business industry without utilizing their platforms. And that's, this is why we're supposed to have antitrust laws and laws that are meant to stop monopolies from forming. But no one seems to give a fuck because it's music and it's entertainment and it's art. And like, you know, that shit always gets shafted, unfortunately. Because, you know, no one wants to pay a fair price for art, but then no one wants to live in a world without art.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's pretty fucking ridiculous.
It is. It's fucking disgusting. Who's next?
Kind of riding off the back of Zach's with like streaming services fucking up revenue and stuff. I reckon it's kind of fucked up. Like, no one wants to go out and watch live music anymore. Like, it's a real effort to get your mates or your family, a lot of them, to come to a gig, which is kind of disheartening. It's like they could just watch YouTube at home or like listen to it on Spotify. Yeah, I found it really difficult because I come from a very different group of people than the rest of the band. So a lot of my old friends don't really like make the effort to come out if it's like not in town. And obviously you can't play in the one place like a million times in a row. But it's just hard to pull a crowd anywhere.
Yeah. Look, that'll come. And I mean, I can only imagine how pissed off you must be, considering you've come from Bobby doing the cover shows where everyone's bopping and jumping and fucking around and having a mad time, and then you go to doing your original stuff, which you poured all your heart and soul into, and no one's turning up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I know, like, completely understand exactly where you're coming from, and that's a big thing we do touch on here too, you know. But these things take time, and this is the whole thing now where you almost got to treat yourself like a celebrity. People want to know what you're doing all the time. You got to just be busy on the socials.
Yeah.
It sucks, and it's not the way things are meant to be. You're meant to be able to play really good music, and word of mouth is meant to carry you on that.
There's just so much noise. That's the problem. There's so much noise. So breaking through that noise, the amount of times like when I've played gigs and I'm sharing it and sharing it and sharing it and sharing it and sharing it, and you do like a paid fucking ad on Facebook and Instagram and all that shit, and you're sharing it and doing all of this stuff, and you're like inboxing people about it and doing all of this stuff, and then, you know, after like 2 days after, when you start sharing photos from the show and everything, that's when people will be like, "Oh, you guys, I didn't realize you guys were playing a show." Because like the algorithm just doesn't show people this stuff, or, you know, and look, I'm sure some of them are just blowing smoke because they, you know, oh, I didn't know you had a gig on, I didn't see the posts, like, sorry. I'm sure some of them are legit, but I'm sure some are blowing smoke about it. But it's understandable when there's like cost of living stuff and everything, especially, and when people are starting to have kids, and then it's like, fuck, like having kids makes it a whole challenge thing as well. And like, so I do, you know, I get, obviously, I understand, like, people have lives, but at the same time, like, people want to claim to support you, but then don't actually, you know, don't even come to a single show, you know? And it's rough because, like, sometimes you're my friend, just come to a fucking show, will you? Like, just one. That's all. I just want you to come to one show so you can see if you actually like it. That's all I want. That's all I ask, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean,
bit of constructive criticism.
But I get it. Like, I do. It's so hard from both sides of the camp, you know?
Yeah. I think like ever since COVID as well, people just got so used to staying at home that everyone's really comfortable being in bed at like 8 o'clock.
Plus the price of the pubs are going up, so they're not. You know,
yeah. It's like,
bucks,
how are you going to have a night out? Like, you go see a band and you have to spend like $10 on a beer.
Yeah.
Yep.
The societal issue.
Exactly.
You drink
Capitalism.
Well, yeah, and it's like we say, art gets fucked over first, you know.
Yeah. And then that's the thing. By that, it forces you to have to spend half of your time playing less shows, and then all the shows that you do play, you're filming half of them, and then you're going home, and then you're having to spend all that time editing your videos just so you can put shitloads of stuff up on social media. And what aren't you doing? Writing new music.
Yeah.
Yep.
Takes time away from the actual important stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Agreed. I agree. I concur with all of these.
Well, kind of rides on that a bit. Just like the fact that everyone seems to like kind of need to be some sort of internet celebrity or something to go along with it. Like, you can't just make your art and go with it. You have to go on there and be like an influencer and whatever. So heaps of people can see your shit online. Like, you can't just make your art and put it out there. You got to do a song and dance in front of it to.
Guess who's the drummer?
Yeah. Who's singing right now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like bands that share mostly like a lot of memes from their page, right? Like, you gotta. It's a fine line to walk, because if you do it too much, people only care about the memes. They're like, you know, if they're liking, if you got lots of people following your page and you're sharing memes and they're getting lots of interaction, but your plays aren't going up, your numbers at gigs aren't going up, people aren't following you for your band, they're following you for the memes, and your marketing strategy has failed. You need to there's a right way to do it, and it's a fine line to walk, but it's very easy to go too far on that front, you know. But no, I get you. Like, having to have that internet celebrity, be content creators, be all of that stuff, which is why if you've got someone that's really, really good at the social media game, it's let them do their shit. You know what I mean? Like, let them do their thing. If they say, hey, we got to do these kind of videos, you just kind of have to suck it up and do it.
Yeah, it's just part of the job.
It is. And especially it's hard because what a lot of people don't understand with musicians, a lot of them are introverts. They don't want to be on a camera. They want to. That's why they have an instrument in front of them, and that's what their extension is, to communicate their feelings with you and tell you how you feel and stuff like that. They don't want to get to know. They don't want you to get to know them either. Really, like on that kind of level, just appreciate the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. It's rough out there, you know. That's why musicians drink.
Yeah. Great wine, great Australian wine.
All right, who's going to be lucky number 5?
I'll go.
There you go.
All right.
I'm still thinking.
You think while I go.
He wrote something.
No, I just needed to remember what it was. It's just kind of frustrating, I think, how much you get as a cover band as compared to how much you get as an originals band. Like, there's a massive discrepancy there between, like, even how you're able to live kind of thing, just because of how much you get.
Well, why do you think so many people go into, you know, acoustic singles or duos to play covers as background music at pubs and clubs, right? Like, if you can do that, if you can get $1,000 a night for 2 people for doing a few hours of covers at a place, you know, and get a few drinks covered and whatnot, like, it's so easy to understand why people end up going down that route rather than continuing to push in trying to make it in original music. Because like you say, it's extremely, there's a massive disparity there, and part of that is, you know, the venues, part of that is the punters just wanting to hear what they already know. Part of it is, you know, there's so much that perpetuates that, and it's really hard to break away from that, you know.
So I'm pretty sure I'll say, because sorry, what was that?
It's just like extra annoying because there's not as much effort that has to go into doing that as compared to doing original stuff, because there's a lot more that you have to think about with original stuff. And even like just in booking gigs and promotion and stuff, it's harder to do originals like that than it is just to do cover stuff.
Yeah, and then you get paid fuck all, if anything.
Yeah,
and
2 fucking drink tickets and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they tell you to smile about it too. That's the fucking worst part. You gotta say thank you.
Yeah.
And look, like I'm pretty sure you guys told us about this while I was down in Goulburn. I said, geez, you guys done the whole thing ass backwards, because you got a taste for what you could do on the covers end.
Yeah.
And you dived into the original stuff. But look, you know, at the end of the day, you know how you're going to pay for your EPs.
Yeah.
Like, there's not, like, a lot of the rest of them out there, like a lot of other bands out there, are like, they're either having to do it all in house or they're just not getting it done. Do you know what I mean? It's at least you know, and it keeps you in practice too.
Yeah. It seems like a pretty down note, but also it's like, because we do the cover stuff, we can do the original stuff as well. So it's like,
that's what we call sustainability.
Yeah. I wouldn't change that. We have to do that at least. Just the pay and what you get discrepancy between
things could just be a bit more equal.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Far out. We'd be the perfect world. Far out.
Yeah, but the amount of people that, like, you know, I've at work, like when I talk to them and they'll be like, oh, you play music? Yeah, okay, cool. What do you play? Blah, blah. And then the question always comes up like, oh, so how much do you make per gig? And I always love flipping it back on them. I always love going, how much do you think I make from a gig.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've literally had people be like, oh, like, I don't know, I figured you get, what, like $2,000 for a show or something. And I just laugh. And then I laugh and I laugh and I laugh some more. And I'm like, the day I get paid $2,000 for a gig with my band, with my originals band, is the day I retire from music, because that's like, you know, I can't fathom, you know, being it. And look, obviously, like, you know, there is bands out there that are, you know, able to make it and make it sustainable and everything. But like this idea that just any band out there that's playing random shows here or there is raking in the money is just, you know, and this is what I mean. Like there's people that play music and that are in it, understand it. And then you got the lay people that just have no clue about everything that goes on and everything that goes into it, you know, and that's not to disparage them. Like they're not, you know, like they can, like, you know, all this, their support is important too. You know, it's just like when you're making music, you're in it and you just have such a deeper understanding of everything that it's easy to lose sight of what other people understand and don't about how it all works.
But then when you think about it, that's like anything, right? You
Yeah,
you can never peek. You can never peek too far behind the curtain. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just, or you don't want to. You know what I mean? It's just never been like, it's not a curtain that you've ever thought to move aside and, okay, what's behind here?
All right, and lucky last.
Oh, it's completely random, but like, can we just get rid of the American Music Awards?
The award show.
Look, we are.
I hate it.
Yep.
No, I get it.
Yep.
I get it. There's a lot of you know, a lot of self-fellatio goes on with those award ceremonies and
garbage that gets awarded.
Yeah.
I look, you know, I'd love to actually see how these things get voted on. That's a curtain I'd love to peek behind, but I don't think they'd ever let you see it.
No.
No.
I remember years ago it was like a rock category at the Grammys, and it was like Lord with Royals won it.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah. Yeah. At that point, I just went, just because it has a guitar and it does not make it rock. Like, come on, please.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's probably just like 3 blokes trying to going, yeah, I like that one. We'll pick that one. My kid listened to that in the car.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that person.
Yeah, or like bands, or like the whole idea. Like I know they changed the name from new artist to breakthrough artist, but like when they'd have the new artist category, and it'd be people that have been in the business for 15 years, and they've only just had like a single go crazy, but it's like it's the new artist. Like no,
no. It's because they came out the other side of the Diddy party, so now they're new artists.
But it's like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, like that's like so ass backwards now, and there's so many non-rock. It's almost just like a music Hall of Fame rather than a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because you got so many.
It should be called the Rock Star Hall of Fame.
Or just the music Hall of Fame or something like that. You know, like because I got nothing against like Run DMC and all them, but like that's
you
know, like that's not. Like that's a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're not a rock band. They're not a rock and roll band. You know what I mean? Like, but
just because they done that song with Aerosmith, Aerosmith doesn't count. Doesn't count. It was a great song.
All right. Well, sorry, go on.
Ozzy Osbourne one.
Yeah.
The Ozzy Osbourne induction.
Yeah.
And I had that Jelly Roll dude sing his song, and it just sounded like crap.
It's just who knows what's going on with all those guys, man. Like it's just a bit the whole thing's a bit ridiculous. The whole industry's crazy. When you
when you said all I can hear is Ozzy Osbourne, who the bloody hell is Jelly Roll? Sharon, who the bloody hell is Jelly Roll? I have a Jelly Roll.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, look, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us here. We'll have links down in the description for everything that Loose Surface has got going on, so y'all can go and follow them and everything and check out what the happening is there. Thank you very, very much for watching. Well, if you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't, downvote the shit out of it. I have been Raph. He has been Beer Buddy. He has been Beer Buddy. That's Loose Surface. You guys have been amazing. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really hope you had a good time. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell down there. It helps the channel grow. We are still a fairly young channel and we like to try and grow our audience all over the world. We do also, for those of you who are interested, have a Patreon. It's just a couple of bucks a month. At the moment, you get all the videos early and ad-free, but we are working on ways to increase the value of that and make it a bit more enticing. So don't forget to keep an eye out and check back on what's going on over there. Other than that, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.